Hello everyone and welcome back to On the Bucket. I've had a little bit of an off past couple days, haven't been feeling the greatest, so sorry if I look like poop. Also haven't had a haircut in a while, so...
Hi! 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 Hi!
Welcome to our channel!
Hello.
If you enjoy learning about reptiles and having a good laugh, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button.
Hit.
Smash it. Smash it. Smash it right now. And don't forget to hit that notification bell.
Hit.
Smash it. Okay. I just wanted to talk today a little bit about super dwarfs. I wanted to show you Hercules so you can see that he's doing better. And I've been cleaning out his mouth every few days. So I just, I lost a litter of boas. They were, the female basically slugged out, so it was very sad and it messed me up for a few days. So I've been trying to kind of like stay more positive and think about happy thoughts, post happier things, but it got me really down when you work so long towards something and then your plans fall through. It sucks. It's harder for a snake to pass slugs than it is actually for them to pass babies. So it was Annie, and when she was giving birth, like I actually saw some of it happening, and I was just paranoid and worried that like something was going to go wrong, or I might have to like push the last few out of her or something, because it literally took her all day. So it kind of took its toll on me. And that's not even really what I wanted to talk about today. See, not all parts of keeping snakes is super fun or super entertaining. You know, sometimes it's really crappy. Sometimes there's things we have to deal with, like Hercules and his mouth. His mouth is doing better now. Everything's healing. But the issue that Hercules had, it's around one of his teeth, it seems. And whenever the tooth grows back, that tooth has problems, or there's it's a little bit infected. So I've been cleaning out his mouth every few days, and I could make videos of that too, but I just feel like the problem with showing videos like that, even though the last one was super popular, is that people think that, oh, all his snakes have problems and he shouldn't have to do that if there aren't any problems. And yes, that's true. You shouldn't have to do that, and it'd be wonderful if none of your snakes have problems, but when you have over 100 snakes, you end up having some problems. So I did keep the tooth, actually, that came out of its mouth from last time. I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a little tooth there, and it was covered in like pus. It was funny, so took that out, and his mouth seems to be getting better. I'm cleaning it out every few days. It's gotten better. His mouth isn't swollen anymore. And he is just an amazing animal. So sometimes I truly find that when animals have issues and you help them, that they become more comfortable with you. Because if you take a snake like this and you grab it by the head, they're not going to chill. Lots of the time they'll fight and whatever. And sometimes he will too a bit now. But like I can go grab him, I can restrain him, hold him down, and I do stuff with his mouth like this, and that's a retic, right? And he's not fighting me, he's not freaking out, and I guess he might know that, or know that, like, you know, when I'm working with him, he's getting better, and then he's not trying to bite me, he's not terrified. He doesn't like that, but you get to know your snakes and you spend enough time with them and you know who you could do that with and who you couldn't. And for the most part, I don't do that to any of my snakes. I never want to restrain my snakes because I never want them to not trust me, because that trust is special. And if you scare a snake enough and you lose its trust, it's going to take you a long time, if ever, to get that trust back. So just wanted to talk a bit more about super dwarfs again. And once again, this is just my experience. Other people might have totally opposite experiences. Some people might have the reverse. There's other people that work with rat snakes that can be just like, whoa, these snakes are nippy, Don't go near them. They're not the friendliest snakes. And then I'll go and say, you know what, like, Steve is the nicest snake I have. I could handle him so easily. But what you have to also consider is that the first 3 months I had him, he probably bit me 5 times every day. See, I just scared Hercules. It scared me a bit. But it takes a while. Some snakes you'll have that trust and you'll always kind of have it. Some of them you'll never have it. The way that I feel with boas, I feel I'm never afraid of getting bit by a boa. I never think that I'm going to get struck. I'm never really that cautious or worried, and for the most part I don't. The only time I ever got bit is like just I was in a rush feeding and I basically took the meal, and instead of giving it, I kind of like the snake's head was here and I kind of brought the food this way, and then the snake bit me like this, and it was because it smells the food but it registers my heat, so it bit my arm, and that was my own fault for being an idiot. But now we're getting sidetracked again. What I've seen from having 6 super dwarfs compared to having a whole pile of boas is that boas are super chill, and super dwarfs can be super chill, but to me, like 1 out of 6 is super chill, and even that one that is super chill is always exploring, is always wanting to do things, is always wanting to go places. So I think that as I've been keeping them, I've been thinking more about them, and they need more space. Even though most probably some of my boas are bigger than my super dwarfs, some of my super dwarfs are bigger than my boas, but with boas they're not always cruising around trying to go places. Some of them are, but for the most part they're super chill. If I leave them alone and don't interact with them, if I don't play with them, they're still fine. In the summertime I try to get them all to go out, but with the super dwarfs they're a little bit different. I don't find any of them are as chill as my boas, except for Queen, which is funny because Queen is the biggest one and she's as chill as a boa and doesn't really do much until you take her out, but once you take her out she wants to explore. But for everyone that's like doing their research on super dwarfs and wanting to buy them, I really encourage you to keep other snakes probably first, because they are more work. I think that they're more intelligent. I think that they need more space. You need to really spend time making sure that you have that humidity right on, that you have the temperature that they like, that you have the needs met for each individual. Because when it comes to, for instance, boas or ball pythons, let's say 90% of them like the regular conditions and they're good with that, and then you'll have one here or there that's a little bit different, that you have to adjust things, that you have to like do something differently. When it comes to super dwarfs, I find each one of them is so individualistic, if that's a word. Each one wants to hide more, one never wants to hide, one wants to be climbing things, the other one like wants it to be colder, the other one wants it to be warmer. Some of them like to be able to see stuff, some of them just don't want to see anything. And getting all those adjustments right for them, it can be tricky. And if you don't have any experience with snakes, you could end up having some problems, like them rubbing their faces, and then they're like what's happened with Hercules where his mouth got infected. Did it get infected from him shoving his face places, or just did it get infected because of a bad tooth? I don't really know. But the more time that I spend with super dwarfs, the more that I feel they really should be kept more as a pet, as opposed to like collecting them. Because I'm collecting them, but more I'm breeding them. I'm breeding them and trying to get them out to people that will take good care of them and treat them more as pets. I don't really like the idea of just breeding them and having more and more in small homes and them not being able to go everywhere. It'd be really nice if anyone that buys a super dwarf takes it and puts it in a bigger home and a nice display and can give them that. We have to really think about the animals that we keep and try not to be selfish. try to think more about them and less about us. The last thing that I felt guilty about was keeping leopard geckos in small homes, and now my leopard geckos are in big homes. So that makes me feel good and it makes me really happy. With the Superdwarf Retics, they are the latest thing that kind of makes me feel a little guilty sometimes, because I feel that people are super interested in them and they're very popular, and people don't realize how big lots of them can get. Like, this is a 75% Superdwarf, and he's from a small bloodline, and he's like 3 years old, and he's definitely very manageable. But not all of them stay this small, and lots of them going out with smaller percentages. Mainlands also can stay small too with certain feeding. So there's just a lot of stuff happening right now with super dwarfs, where lots of people want them, lots of people want to get into them, and there's a lot of greed, and there's a lot of people just thinking of them as money. And I'm just worried about what's going to happen in a few years when all these super dwarves are out with people and lots of them are not taking good care of them, because they aren't as forgiving as boas are, and they're not as forgiving as ball pythons are. So if you want to get into one, I'd say they're my favorite snake. So they're wonderful and they're very good to have as a pet, but you should really, really consider how you're going to set it up, how you're going to take care of it, and are you going to be able to really give it the time that it needs, give it enough time outside to explore, spend enough time with it so that you can have a snake that will be super chill. Is this something that you've thought about? How do you feel about these? Do you feel similarly? Do you feel like they're just the same as any other snake? Or share your thoughts with me in the comments below. I'd like to hear what you think.
Yeah, that was wonderful, wasn't it? Now make sure you
Circle.
yeah, click the circle.
Yeah, I did.
And then watch this video or this one.
No.
Yeah?
No.
Yes. It's not that hard. Which one appeals to you more? Is it this one or is it this one?